So recording. Can I do a screen share? Do you see that now? You probably can't see it on Facebook. No, you just see me looking at my computer like a fool. Okay, how do I fix this? Technology is fun. Oh. Can you see a presentation now? I'm seeing a nod. How about that? You see a presentation and hear my voice? Give me a nod. Yay, okay. Wait, we did it. Okay, welcome to You Are Not Unlovable, How to Find Your Soulmate and Stop Dating Jerks. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I am your hostess, Jamie Starr. I'm a psychotherapist, a hypnotherapist, and a high priestess. I am really excited to share this with you, and I want to invite you to just shut off any distractions, maybe put your phone on airplane mode or utilize headphones so that you can get the most out of this presentation. I've really packed in like a ton of information, and I want to make sure that you get this. And take this time for you. You know, you might want to make some notes. I've got my water here, and figure out how can I actively apply this to my life. What about this is true for me, and how does it appear in my life? You're about to discover, dun dun dun, the truth about true love and happily ever after. You're going to discover the exact flaws that make you unlovable to some, but which are the exact things that make you totally delicious to somebody else. You're going to discover how to be the goddess that you are so you can find your forever love, how to avoid the biggest mistakes you can finally be loved for who you truly are and not on a pedestal or anything fake like that. I'm going to teach you my 5-step formula to reboot your love life no matter what phase of the relationship you're in. If you're new to love, if it's been a while, if you're in a long-term relationship, the formula applies to you. And I'll teach you the best way to bulletproof your new or ongoing relationship in the future. So I invited you and my Facebook community and my friends because I work with intuitive, empath, spiritual, priestess, magical, mostly women and a few intrepid men who are sick of heartbreak and want to be loved with their whole being, has had it with narcissists and codependents, and is ready to get in a real relationship, knows they have love and gifts to share, and is dating, single, divorced, widowed, polyamorous, swinging, in a polycule, whatever, but looking to be loved for who you truly are in an authentic way. So if you've ever fallen in love to have your heart broken over and over by liars, cheaters, and thieves who then blame it on you, like it's your fault that you're in this horrible situation. If you've ever struggled to get happily ever after, feeling you're in a relationship but maybe failed at it, or you've done something wrong and can't figure it out, you're afraid of being put on a pedestal but want to be loved for who you truly are, this is for you. Been afraid to start over in love, maybe you've been putting it off for a little while. Want a whole new type of relationship. You want to change the structure of your existing relationship, but fear gets in the way, and is tired of being alone even if you're in the relationship. And this presentation is for you. So imagine with me, just like feel into it. What would it be like if you were at one within yourself, not needing a partner to complete you, but you could have one if you wanted to? What would it be like to connect with someone on a deep, personal, profound level? What if you could stop dating jerks and find a partner who wanted the same things in life that you do? What if you could find your soulmate or your life mate and be with them and make a choice? What if you had the tools to feel totally confident that you could manage your problems without blaming or codependency and tears, but instead could do it with grace and with skill? So just dream with me. What if you could communicate your deepest sexual desires and have long-lasting passion for your partner without shame and embarrassment? All of these things are possible, I know, because I did them all wrong. What can I tell you? By 30, I was divorced twice. I was in a situation where I thought things are going south. I got to get out of here. And I literally was like, I'll never do this again, right? I've learned from my first relationship. I'm never going to get married like this again. And then I literally did the same thing again. I remember feeling really ashamed at the time. And I was thinking, like, I'm a therapist. I should know better. Like, I shouldn't be in bad relationships or crappy situations. So why did I then do it again? And I was afraid. I was really afraid that, especially after my uh, leaving my second husband, that I was trapped or cursed and that I would never find my soulmate. I was starting to be pretty cynical about it. And then I discovered the missing piece. And this is stuff that your couples counselor doesn't know. This is stuff that you don't learn in therapy school. And it's really exciting to me. And I'm really glad that I get to share it with you today. Because I know what it's like to be in that situation. It seriously sucks. Part of it was that I had to surrender my ego, I suppose, to see what was actually happening in these different relationships and take responsibility for my part in it. And that I had really hurt people, and that I allowed red flags to go by without paying any attention to them, or I would diminish them and make them not a big deal when really they were a huge deal. And if I'd stuck by my boundaries, I would not have been divorced a second time. I would not have been married and then divorced a second time. And I learned that there are archetypes at play, and archetypes are the secret sauce, and they're bigger than us, and they can rule what's happening if we're not aware of them. And ultimately, like, after the second divorce, I was really scared and confused and unsure where to turn. And I really didn't want to do the same goddamn thing a third time around. And so I got a better archetype. I'm all grown up now. I'm not a little girl. I finally found the relationship that my soul wanted on a deep level. And I'm able to express who I wanted to be and not be stuck in a role as a wife. And because I found the partner that my soul wanted, we were able to welcome our son into the world a little more than last year. He's almost 2 now. We're building an extension onto our house. We're making a family room for the first time. And I have the power and the tools to solve problems as they come instead of being crippled by them or feeling like I have to flee the relationship. So now that I have tools, I kind of know what to do, and it just makes it like less of a big deal, I suppose. So let's talk lies you've been fed. My dad used to say there's 3 types of lies. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. So let's look at them just for a moment. So the American Psychological Association says that getting married and divorced is a common experience. Like, most people do it. About 90% of people get married by age 50. And we know that marriage is good for individuals, that both men and women live longer when they're married. They take good care of each other. And they're also good for children to grow up in a household where the parents are married. And it protects children from mental, physical, educational, and social problems statistically. So we have statistics for that. We also know about 40 to 50% of married couples in the US, at least, get divorced. And if you marry again, the likelihood of being divorced is even higher, which is kind of shocking if you think about it. So you would think that with this high rate that a lot of people would get marriage counseling or premarital counseling, or even turn to a therapist when times get tough so that they don't get divorced. You know, if you think about it, like 1 in 2 weddings you go to is going to end in divorce, and sadly there's no divorce party, which I think there should be. The Journal of Family Psychology ran a study that found that there was a 31% lower divorce rate among couples that had counseling before marriage. And what we know is that only 1% of individuals who were a couple and got divorced go to therapy after divorce. So they're not going to therapy afterwards, and only 31% when they do get marriage counseling before they get married, they do have a better chance of surviving. Here's the problem, is that most people get marital counseling from a religious institution, which is fine if that's your religion. We know that marriage counseling only works about 50% of the time. And part of it is that people come to marriage therapy for different reasons, or couples counseling for different reasons. Sometimes it's secretly they want to leave and they feel guilty and they can't, so they bring their partner and bring them to the therapist, and it's like, okay, clean this up. Or they're like half out of the relationship, or they're cheating and they actually want to be in a different relationship. And we know that marital counseling is not effective when you're actively separating. And unfortunately, by the time people get in, they are often in the process of separating or having already separated. So in my practice, I do see couples, and here's the problems as I see it, is that most people can't access couples counseling, even if they wanted to. So there's a stigma around it to begin with, and then it's not covered by insurance. We have a workaround where I will give one couple a diagnosis, and then as part of their mental health treatment, their partner is invited into the session to do some work together, and then we do couples counseling there. So that only works if you have good insurance. If you don't have good insurance, well, I guess you could pay out of pocket the $200 a session to go see a therapist. We also know that couples counseling is not healthy or not good for non-traditional couples. And part of that is that there haven't been a whole lot of studies on relationships in particular, let alone relationships that are not heteronormative. So there are not a lot of longitudinal studies on LGBT relationships, or if you're in a poly relationship, there's almost no studies done, which is really frustrating. So if you're a non-traditional couple, then you may not get a lot out of couples counseling. Most couples counselors are religiously based, even if they're not in a religious organization. Where I went to school to learn therapy, we learned Christian couples counseling, even though the school was academically based, because there was more literature in it. And the goal of it was to be a good Christian husband or wife, which is unlike any other area of therapy where it's mostly done through like studies. It's really only been in the last 30 to 40 years that we've studied people in relationships as they actually are. The Gottmans have done a really good job of that, just for an example of figuring out, like, so what is a relationship? Like, what could a marriage look like that's not religiously based? And a lot of therapists use sort of their best judgment as to what couples need in a relationship, which is not based on science and isn't necessarily right for everybody, and will often project their own issues or blame one partner over the other. Particularly problematic is if one couple if there's been some adultery, then it's difficult because the therapist may blame the adulterous partner and not really listen to them and not heal because they're projecting their own images onto it. So it's troublesome for a lot of people. And I really think that we need more. We need more from our therapists. We need to incorporate the whole individual as part of the couple, not just looking to save the marriage. I was taught in therapy school that the therapist is the last person to give up on marriage, that the therapist is on the side of the marriage, of the institution. And I was like, well, what about like the people in it? Like, what if they don't even want to be in it? Or what if they have a problem with the way that it's structured? And that was not given consideration. The goal was to be on the part of the institution. We need to change archetypal patterns, not just the behavior that couples are exhibiting in therapy. This isn't just about how you think. We can't separate the head from the body. We need to incorporate the whole person and look into the spiritual dimension as well. And we need to stop blaming others for the current situation. And therapy, like in Freudian analysts will blame your mother for things, and they often, like couples counseling, their therapists find a way to finger point at one or the other. This person is crazy, so they need therapy. How can we fix the relationship if you're both, just they're not both in the room, just things like that. And every time someone comes in my office and they tell me these stories, it like breaks my heart because we just need more. So let's talk about how we got here. Can we talk about true love? You see the C, it's like copyright. True love, copyright. So you might think that true love is about like eyes meeting across each other from the room, and there's that instant attraction, and it's just the music swells and they run to each other and it's beautiful. And people think that this is what love should be because it's so easy. It just happens. It's natural. And then we think that if you have this true love, or if you've experienced those feelings, that this is a magical thing and that love conquers all. And yet, in real life, we even look to the mythology and the stories that we have about love. Romeo and Juliet is the epitome, like that is the story about true love. And yet they both die in the end, and like everybody's life is ruined because of their relationship. Like, why is this an example of what love should be? And when we look closely at it, it's our own romanticization of it that complicates it, right? And there's other stories, other myths, where when we actually look into them, we see that the mythology doesn't support this as a good idea. Oh, then there's happily ever after, right? The natural consequence of true love. I mean, we're taught it's perfectly natural. Our grandparents did it and stayed together forever. And like, it makes me inside. I can't even hold on to it. And the biggest mistake I see is that people think that love equals happily ever after, that is the equation, and that everybody has it. Except me, of course, because I'm damaged, right? That's what we tell ourselves. We're like, why don't I have it? And yet the divorce rate is crazy high. So in our stories, we don't look to what happens after the heroine gets married. We just assume that they live happily ever after. But do they? When the divorce rate is like almost 1 in 2 people or maybe more get divorced? How is that happily ever after? What does that even look like? So we're fed this idea, and then in reality, we can't see past it, and we don't actually know what it is. So we come to the conclusion, I haven't had true love like that. It didn't work out, and my happily ever after was crap, and it must be because I am unlovable. And we come to this idea that this must be true. And so if you think you're unlovable, you might be thinking that it's prevalent in our culture because this is Danny DeVito. I'm pointing the screen, you can't see on that side. This is Danny DeVito and his wife. I forget her name, but she was in the TV show Cheers, where she was really cross to everybody. I love her. If you think that you have to be a movie star, if you have to be beautiful and smart and successful in order to be loved, I point to these two, that they have been married for going on 35 years in Hollywood, which is crazy. And she is short-tempered and short, and he is really short and fat and bald, and yet they found a love that's been long-lasting for them. We think that if I'm unlovable, it must be because I'm not skinny enough, I'm moody, I'm not successful, maybe I'm damaged goods, as if relationship status is related to your value as a human being. And when I say that out loud, like, it sounds crazy, and yet I know for me personally, like, this was the belief that I was under. Once I'm skinny, I'll have the relationship I want. I'll be able to attract the partner that is right for me. If I could just be less sad all the time and be more even and be happy all the time, then I would attract somebody, because that's what I want. I want happily ever after, so I will be happy all the time. And then not having that was so painful. It was like, well, what do I have to do to be loved? And maybe you're asking yourself the same thing. I point also to, I think it's Carrie Underwood, Ed McGraw. Should probably pick people whose names that I know, but they've been married a long time, even in the music scene where they're each traveling a lot of the year, that they've made a life for themselves and made it work. They're the couple that you're like, well, of course they found happily ever after. They're beautiful and successful. And yet we also have Danny DeVito and his wife, and he is crossing off all of those things, and still has found really real love. Here's the thing about jerks. Maybe you've had a few in your life. Maybe you've dated some. Maybe you are one. I don't know. Sometimes that happens. The thing about jerks is that they're everywhere, and anyone can be one at any time. That sometimes it's a mood, and when you're in a relationship with somebody, that can kind of add up, and you can kind of come to the conclusion, especially after we break up, that maybe this person is kind of a jerk. Most people that are jerks don't mean to be. They don't want to come across that way. Even narcissists don't want to be seen that way. Everyone wants to be seen as kind or as lovable, but everybody's doing what they can in order to get love and certainty and the things that are important to them. And so what happens is that when somebody is victimized, they require someone to persecute them, and then they require a rescuer, and sometimes these roles change all the time. And anytime one role is activated, all of the rest of them are activated. This is an archetypal reality. It is bigger than you both, and unless everyone is aware, or at least you're aware, you are forced to play these roles and play them out. So the person who is victimized is then rescued, and then they resent their rescuer, who they then persecute the rescuer by doing little passive-aggressive things, and then the rescuer feels victimized, and then someone has to come rescue the rescuer, who's now the victim, but they used to be the persecutor. You can see how round and round that goes. I talk more about this in another one, but my point is that there's a dynamic that's activated that is bigger than you. And you can still love the jerk, right? When you understand somebody's behavior pattern, you can still love them, but what you have to figure out is where those boundaries are for you, and whether or not you want to stay together now that you know their truth about who they are, or if you need to let them go. And what I need you to understand is that you are not the only one that could love this person. In fact, maybe there's someone out there who's a better fit for them, and you being with them are actually preventing them from finding the love that they want or that they're looking for. And so it's okay to let go of jerks. Somebody out there will love them. That's why I put Severus Snape up here. I will take your Severus Snape. I will take good care of him. I love him, and I love that he's snarky, and I'm sure it would be an awful relationship, and I will take it. It'll be amazing, right? Somebody out there will love them, and you don't have to do all the work and take care of somebody like that. And I want to give you that permission now to do what you need to do. Let them go to be loved by somebody else if you want to. My husband, I love him. He's a difficult man, and some people have said that he's a jerk, but I love him and I understand him mostly. Do my best to understand him. But we do well together, and there's things about him that I love, and other people would find him difficult to love. So let them go to find somebody that loves them. Can we talk about soulmates, please? Soulmates are that one special person you're meant to be with. But can we dig more into it more deeply? A soulmate is somebody that has something to teach your soul. You have many soulmates. That's why when you say to your high school sweetheart, I will love you forever, you're my soulmate, that's true. And so is the person who's with you at your deathbed, right? They're also your soulmate. Your soul is learning from them, and you have many soulmates. You won't date all your soulmates, you won't marry them all, and you shouldn't, right? Just because you have a soul connection to somebody does not mean that you should marry them. You should marry your life mate. You should marry the person that wants to go through life with you, that wants to build a life together. I make a differentiation between them. Not everybody does, but you have to choose how to approach your life. And it's not easy if you've been looking for your soulmate this whole time and you're waiting for them to come along and take you away on a white horse and give you happily ever after. I don't know how long you'll be waiting. It hasn't worked for me so far personally. But just because they come for you doesn't mean that they're your life mate. Just because you learn from them doesn't mean you should marry them, right? That we have things to learn from each other that are not healthy for us in a long-term marriage. So there's things that you need to think about as far as that goes. It's all about your vibe, right? That psychologically speaking, you're attracted to yourself. You're attracted to qualities in the other person that you like in yourself or that you respond to. And so we're constantly like sending out these signals. You also attract friends that are the same way, either because you have things in common with them, whether it's like interests and hobbies, but also like personality traits, temperament, things like that. But you also attract people that create the dynamic that you like and find comfortable and find certainty in. So if you grew up in a family where there was a lot of argument, you may be comfortable with a certain level of, you may call it passion, I call it arguing and yelling, which somebody else might find very threatening, but which may be perfectly natural to you. And so you may attract somebody who you can play out that dynamic with, and that feels comfortable for you. So you're attracted to yourself. You also teach people how to treat you. I talked a little bit in my story about all the red flags that I had between meeting this person and then marrying them and then divorcing them. And when you get a red flag, that's an invitation to go like, oh, something's wrong here, to do something about it. When you say, oh no, it's no big deal, it's got a context, I'd rather be together than break up over something like this, or I can't be alone, or I don't know what would happen to me, I'd be on the street if I did this, then you're telling someone, you're teaching them how to treat you. You're teaching them that it's okay for them to violate that boundary that you have. If you don't have any boundaries or you don't know where they are, most of the time you don't know until the boundary is so violated that you have to like push even harder to get back. And if you'd listened to that first red flag and made a boundary there instead of waiting until it was here, then you could have solved the problem before it got to be a huge problem. Yeah. We also have what psychologists call perception bias, where we look for a confirmation bias, where we get confirmation of things that we already believe. And I think there's two kinds. There's rose-colored glasses, where you know those people, everything's sunny and rosy, everything's great all the time, they see the best in everything. And then what I call shit-colored glasses, where nothing seems to go their way, they're unlucky, they're victimized all the time. And when you're wearing those glasses of perception, that is all that you see. It's not possible to see anything else until you become aware that you're wearing them, and then you can take them off, or you can begin to see a little bit differently. But we're getting confirmation bias all the time. Yeah. And it happens in the unconscious. You're not aware of it. These are behaviors and programs that go back to when you were a child, and it sounds really hard, but you can change them. And we typically change them in hypnotherapy and go back to the moment and have a healing that you can't have any change without healing. And all healing happens through the heart. So here's the big question. How can I be loved for who I truly am, even if I'm overweight and moody and damaged goods and all that stuff? How am I loved? How can I be loved? And the truth is so simple. It's like radically simple. The way to be loved is to be yourself, but like your real self, like your truest real self, your soul self, your higher self, the part of you that knows just what to do, the part of you that knows how to be healthy, the part of you that is free from those unconscious programs that are keeping you trapped in a cycle of victimhood. So the question, besides how is like, I want to be loved, how can I be loved for who I truly am? Just be yourself. How do I be myself? How do I get there? And I invite you to look at it through the perspective of goddess love. It's a shift in relationship perspective that begins to look bigger on relationships towards those archetypal layers, so that you can get out of those traps and into a more sacred space where you feel empowered and divine and feminine and strong, and whatever goddess is true for you. So when you want to reboot, you need a reboot. That's what it is that it's not that you're damaged, it's that there's things in the way. There's maybe tarnished is a better word, that just by coming into the world, by being born, our perfectly pure souls have decided that they want to learn these things, and then life sends them to us so that we learn them. And in order to get back to our higher self, there's 5 steps we need to do. And I'll just run through them briefly and then I'll go deeper. So we got to out with the old. We got to get rid of the old stuff. We need a deep healing to claim our truth of who we are, align to archetypes that are healthy for us, and to summon forth the future that we want. So let's go deep. So you're being held in a pattern. And if you're being held, for example, in that codependent pattern of like, I'm a victim, I'm the persecutor, I need a rescuer, where's my white knight? If you're being held in that pattern, you're being held hostage in that pattern, that now this pattern is playing out beyond your control and you find yourself in it no matter what you do. There's other patterns also. This is just the big one that people can see most easily. And everyone is unique, right? Every situation is unique and your experience is unique, but there are similarities when you pull back far enough that can give you some perspective on your pattern. So we got to clear out those old patterns. Part of it is by becoming aware of them and really like feeling like through what the outcome would be if that was the only choice. And then we make a different choice. But we have to heal what we found. And so we do a healing ritual. And healing is, it is like a wound, right? Like a physical wound. Like if you fell down and scraped your knee, you would need to take the time to look at it, right? You need vision to look at it, to see, and also light so that you can see everything that's there and make sure there's no like crumbs and stuff. And how bad is it? You need a witness, somebody else to see you and reflect back at you. And a lot of times this will be when you're a child, it's usually your mother, and she, oh, what happened? And here's your story. How did you fall? How did this happen? And she takes a look and she decides then what to do. What intervention is necessary based on this particular wound? Do we need to go to the hospital? Do we need stitches? Is this just a, Neosporin and Band-Aid situation? Do I just kiss it and make it better, right? You need the intervention then to have the healing, but first you need the light and the vision for it, and you need the witness to reflect you back at you. Once you know the wound and have had healing, you can claim your truth, right? So I've heard people tell me like, I'll never love again. That was certainly me after my second marriage. And I was saying that because I was so hurt that I didn't want to do it again. But the truth was, once I moved through that hurt and was able to heal that wound, I did want love. I did want a family. I did want a relationship, and continue to, and still do. And now I know that that's true. When you claim it, it's like going on a trip. And if you don't know where you're going, you'll just end up any old where. If we think of love as a landscape, we can kind of look around and see, where am I? And then you, when you know where you want to go, then you can chart a course. But you have to claim what you want and claim what's true for you. So if it's true that now that I'm not hurting, I do want a relationship. Wow, okay, how do I even get there? Well, let's figure out where we are, right? Once you know where you want to go, you align to the archetype that is healthy for you. Say, go big or go home, right? Pick big archetypes. Pick goddesses that are too much, right? That don't fit in with what exactly is happening in the world. And so when you align with a good archetype, then it supercharges your energy, and it gives a depth and a story. It makes it sacred. It's now not, I'm recovering from a terrible heartbreak, but I'm on a sacred journey to find deep love. And that shift is huge. And the archetype becomes your guide, and the myths and stories about them become advice that is wise rather than just winging it or playing it by chance. Most people I know don't have archetypes and myths that guide them. And when they start getting them, they start seeing the wisdom in them. And then it doesn't matter that their parents sucked. It doesn't matter how hurt they were growing up, because they have a bigger story that they can turn to for truth and advice that's beyond culture, that's past that happily ever after, that's past that true love bullshit. So you align to the archetype. Once you do that, then you can manifest. Then you can summon forth what you desire most, and then you'll know the action steps. The archetype is sort of the playing field, and then you summon forth the path that you want to take through it. Or if the archetype is part of the map, right? I'm going to do the map of, Germany, because I want to get to town in Germany. Humor me. I don't know. I can't think of one. But if you wanted to get to Paris, you need a different map. Right? You need to know the landscape, and then you can chart your path through it. And you need to do it in an ethical way that doesn't harm other people. So like with my clients, in our VIP day, we do value cards and figure out what values am I looking for in a partner or in a lover or in a life mate. And then we look to someone to fill those values, not a particular person, right? So I can't just call someone for Severus Snape, even though I would really like to be happy with Alan Rickman. But that would be unethical, right? We can even do this even though we're in relationship, and it kind of calls for the best of our partner, but we have to do it in an ethical way. Okay, so if you want to bulletproof your relationship, I know that this is possible for you. If you're in a relationship now, or you're ready to be in your next relationship, or you're getting ready for one, or you're in between ones. Just checking the time here. Okay. Relationships take skills that you can learn and practice. And I know this because I've seen it like hundreds of times now with my clients. And I want you to know that there's no failure in relationships. This isn't a quiz. You don't get an A or a B or an F, right? That you can't fail relationships. That's the secret to life. You can be in relationships and learn the skills and practice them, and even like screw up sometimes and still have a beautiful, good outcome. You can have an outcome where you stay your own person and aren't like totally like devoured by the relationship, where you influence your beloved and they influence you. But then you're not responsible for their feelings. You don't make them sad. They don't make you miserable. But instead you inspire each other and help each other rather than save each other and rescue each other, if that makes sense. You can be in a relationship that you tend and grow, that develops over time and even through a life, if that's what you desire. And you need a supportive community to be around you where they're going through similar things. So many people are like eaten or trapped by this codependent archetype of the victim, the rescuer, the persecutor, that you need to be in a group of people that are moving through that and trying to get through it, who don't play that game, so that they can model for you and also advise you, but also so that as you grow, you can grow and advise other people, so that you can connect with others and share your story. That's so important, that you need people who are doing relationships the same way that you are. Let's meet Kathleen. I love Kathleen. She's very dear to me. She's one of my clients. She's single on purpose. When she left her last husband, she was like, I'm not doing that again. I don't see any reason to. And her ruling goddess is Aphrodite. I'm getting more comfortable here. She wanted to work on embracing her sensual side without shame. But she really didn't know what she wanted in love when we started working together. I helped her to identify what was important for her, what was true. We did a number of healing rituals so she could move past things. She said, every experience with Jamie is incredible. I really believe in her. I learned so much about myself as a goddess. I don't date anymore. I receive worship. And she really approaches every single relationship that way. And if they do not treat her like the goddess that she is, she moves on. And I can damn well tell you she would not have done that even a year ago, right? She would have been like, oh, thanks, haha, I am, okay, haha, I gotta go now, okay, haha, bye. She doesn't do that anymore. The moment they do not treat her like a queen, she's out of there, because she doesn't tolerate that. She's like, I teach people how to treat me, and I am a goddess, and they basically get like one strike. She doesn't tolerate bullshit like at all. I really admire her. So imagine if you could. What if you could supercharge your love life? I mean, what would be different for you? What would that look like? If you could get exactly what you want in a relationship, no matter how kinky or out there it is, or vanilla, right? And have your partner be totally okay with it. What if you could attract and keep your perfect soulmate, now knowing what you know about love? What if you weren't afraid of adultery and cheating? What if you knew you could bulletproof your relationship at every stage and heal from past love failures without endless therapy sessions? I don't know if you can hear, my son is here, so my husband's got him. I'm almost done here. Okay. So as you can see, you've learned, like, hopefully you've learned a ton of stuff. I know I really pack it in. You've learned the truth about happily ever after, true love, and soulmates. You have a better understanding of why you've attracted jerks in the past. You learned my 5 spiral steps to reboot love and how to bulletproof your relationship. So it's up to you now. You can take what you've learned and try to figure it out on your own and implement it. And my question to you is, how long is that going to take for you? Or you can let me help you get on the fast track to get love like a goddess. Oops. Okay. So if you're one of those people that knows that this is something you're going to need help with, listen up. If you're one of those people that just says, oh, I'm fine, no, everything, it's okay. You know, my challenge to you is it really? Or are you creating certainty in your life? Are you just perpetuating the pattern that you're in because it's simple and you don't know what to do? Or are you ready to get some help with this? So if you know that you are going to need some help with this, we know that relationships are not as easy as people make them look. And we know that statistically, most people get help too late. And a lot of times people don't know what they don't know, right? They just know that they're unhappy, but they don't know how or why. Hopefully you have a little more insight today. And basically you have 3 choices. You can do nothing and continue to struggle by not having this sorted out. Keep being in crap relationships or being like kind of happy or where it's fine. You could try to do it on your own and improve it the best that you can. Or you can allow me to walk alongside of you and fast track you to success. Oh, here's some testimonials, some nice things people say. I do a lot of therapy appointments occasionally still. I've had a lot of clients that are therapy clients and they don't want, they don't want their name out there. So somebody has said that this should be required for everybody. I couldn't believe the amount of relief I got after just 1 session. Stacy said, I've spent hundreds of hours in talk therapy and never felt this kind of healing. Changed my life for the better. Really sweet things people have said about the work they've done with me. So if you'd like for me to show you how to implement this and you're empathic, intuitive, spiritual, sensitive, or an intrepid man, that's fine with me, who maybe loves their partner but isn't in love with them, is in any phase of the relationship, any style, is sick of heartbreak and wants to be loved for your whole being, is done with narcissist and codependency, wants to be loved like a goddess, and wants more spiritual growth and personal fulfillment in relationships, and knows you have gifts for share, this is for you. I can show you how to banish negative love from your life, grow closer with your current partner, get healing for those past love wounds, stop dating the wrong people if you're in that phase of your life, attract the hottest sex you've ever had, be seen, heard, and celebrated by your partner. You'll identify your love, purpose, and unique dynamics. Connect to that inner priestess within you that always knows just what to do. Develop and stick to your high standards and align to your true goddess archetype. And I can show you how to do this all in 1 day. So if you want to be my next success story, you're in the right place. If you want me to teach you, I'll show you how to do all of this step by step. I'll hold you in sacred space. You get immediate feedback from me through this powerful transformation. You'll leave the 1 day intensive feeling invigorated and energized with a plan for the future going forward. So it's called the Love Like a Goddess Makeover VIP Day. Love Like a Goddess Makeover VIP Day, or I just VIP Day for short. The next time I'm doing it is Sunday, November 11th. It goes from 9:30 to 4:30 approximately, and I'm inviting you to this. So it's a virtual group retreat, which means you get to be at home in your pajamas. All you need is internet access and a microphone on your computer. It's nice if you have a camera. It'd be nice to see your face, but that's not required. You get a lunch break. There's actually quite a few breaks in it because there's just a lot of information. I want to make sure you can digest it all. And I support you with a welcome call to kind of orient and get what your goals are so that I can make sure that that happens during the VIP day. You get the Jumpstart material that you can access online. I send you goodies in the mail that we'll use throughout the day. I'll give you a follow-up call. I think it's a 30-minute follow-up call, and you will walk away with a plan to get the love that you want. So the Jumpstart materials, I normally charge like $500 for. That's included, the 15-minute welcome call. I also do pre-assessments and post-assessments. I make those available to you so that you know exactly, like you're ready to come and you're like exactly ready to, you know what you want to work on and some places that you can begin and where you need healing. You'll get the lovely gift bag with all your goodies. That's worth about $300. I record everything, right, and segment it so that it's each class together. Or each class by itself, and then make sure that you get all the recordings. You can review at any time. I may charge $1,000 for that, and another context. The 30-minute follow-up sessions worth about $200, and you get personal attention in a small group setting. And I don't even know how to put a value on that. That's priceless. But overall, the total value of $2,300. And so I always include bonuses because I love giving gifts. So if you join the program, then you'll get the special bereavement ritual, which will allow you to continue your own release work to clear out your past and clear the way for true love. That's worth about $300. And I'll show you how to do it on the VIP day so that you'll be able to do it for yourself and continue your healing. I give you access to our secret Facebook community so that you can share your learnings with others and have the support that you need, and you can try new things or say, hey, I did the ritual, and you know that everyone else knows what you're talking about. And you can stay in there as long as you'd like. That's worth about $200. Sometimes I put secret things on there, like if I find an article that I think would be really helpful, or a video, or if I come up with a meditation I think would be helpful, I add it to that group there. So for those of you that are like, oh my God, yes, this is for me. I totally want this. Where do I sign? I want to give you like an extra special gift. And if you're on the fence, maybe this will push you over. But if you sign up today, I will give you a private channeled message from Aphrodite herself. And it takes about 15 minutes. What we do is we get on the phone or the computer, and I'll channel Aphrodite and you can speak to her directly. I will do a special attunement with you as she directs me to, and we'll record it also for posterity. And again, like, I don't know how much is that worth to be able to ask the goddess of love your love questions and get a direct answer special for you. I guess about $200. I don't know. It's an amount, I suppose. Who can I help? So not everybody qualifies for the VIP program. You have to be an action taker, open and coachable. You have to be open to change, or else why would you do it? I only want to work with people that I know I can help because they're going to get the most out of the class, and they're going to be good contributors to the class for other people. I really want to protect the people that are in my group so that they just have the best experience. I need to know you're ready to make change and that you want the fast track. I need you to know you need to be financially capable and someone who sees the value in investing in herself. And you need to be ready to get started fast. This is not for opportunity seekers who just want to kick the tires, who don't have follow through or quit. This is a commitment, right? To come to the group and give your all for one day, and then to continue following through with the practices. So if you're a person who tends to make excuses and you're not really committed to taking action right now, this program is not for you. If you want to change or manipulate your partner, this is not for you. This program is about you and your experience of your relationship, which I know will make your relationship better. I've seen it over and over. But if you want your partner to change and you think this program is going to help you manipulate them, then you are wrong. Then I don't want you in my program. I don't want people that manipulate other people. This is also not for you if you're in crisis right now. And what that is about is that if you are in a domestic violence situation, then you need help from professionals. And this program is about bettering your relationship and preventing problems in the future. If you're on fire right now, you need a fire department, right? This is aftercare. So if you're in crisis right now, this program isn't for you. So we kind of do the math here. I mean, what you get is worth about $2,300, except for the things that are priceless. Like, how do you put a price on that? The bonuses are worth $500, and they're worth $700 if you do the fast action and do that right now. So easily this program is worth $2,800 to $3,000, and I could charge that, and people would pay it. But in the actual value, like besides the money, like what is it worth for you to be clear to the past, to know your love purpose, to have the kind of love relationship that suits your new divine status as a goddess, to have hotter sex and more intimacy, to have the access to that wisdom, that wise part of you anytime you need it, to have confidence in your choices, and to make over your current or your next relationship. I mean, I don't know how to put money on that. I don't know what that's worth to you. I think for me, it's worth a lot, because not having those things is costing you, right? It's costing you to be stuck. Whether you're stuck in the past, choosing the same type of person over and over again, or your relationship is just fine. Like, why can't it be great? Why wouldn't you want a great relationship? If you're lacking your life mate to help you accomplish your life purpose, that can be really painful on a soul level, that like you can't put money on that. Like, there's no amount value on that. Not being truly seen or appreciated by your sweetheart is terribly painful. And being apart from your soulmate and not learning those lessons, these wounds are in the way of that. I do a love intervention for couples. It's a face-to-face weekend intensive in a healing environment. I basically I talk with them and create a personal program for them. We do a lot of the exercises that we do in this VIP makeover. And I put them up in a hotel, and they have the weekends to just focus on their relationship, and we do really powerful interventions. Completely transforms your partnership, and I offer 1 year of follow-up support. And if you wanted that from me, it's $10,000. So it's a significant investment and an incredible transformation. But for the Love Like a Goddess Makeover VIP Day, it's the 1-day group retreat online. You don't have to go anywhere. I'll totally be there in my yoga pants. You get the jumpstart material, the welcome and the follow-up coaching calls, the assessments. You get the gift bag in the mail, which is super excited to get presents in the mail, recordings of all the work, personal attention and small group sitting, the 2 bonuses, and if you sign up today, you get the special bonus for fast action takers. All of this, $997. Not $5,000, not $3,000, not $1,500, $997. But I tell you what, I have a surprise for you. So right now, I am having a special offer because this is a pilot program. I believe absolutely, I know that these will work for you. I've had incredible transformation with my clients, but I've never packaged them in this way. And I've never delivered it completely online before. So I'm offering you an opportunity to be a part of the pilot program. So a program that I would normally charge $1,000 for, I'm offering today for only $500. And I will tell you, this is the only time I will offer it at $500. There's going to be kinks. I know that. Any pilot program is going to have kinks in it. So you get an opportunity to get this cutting edge stuff, brand new in the program. Help me iron out the kinks. And I'm looking for good testimonials. I want to know that you've had a good experience at a price that is more affordable for folks. Oh, let me introduce you to Laura. Laura is married and satisfied. Her ruling goddess is Demeter. It took us a little bit to figure that out. And she really wanted to work on balancing her career and her love life because she felt like her marriage was like eating her up. It was just absolutely taking over. She said, I was on the verge of separation and my husband didn't even know it. After working with Jamie, I feel so close to him. I can't believe it ever crossed my mind. We are so in love now. We instituted just a few of the things that you're going to learn in this makeover VIP day. And it totally shifted her perspective on her relationship. I tell you what, though, so after our interventions, not only is her relationship better, but she quit the job where her red flags kept coming up and found herself a better job. And her husband also got a promotion. When you're healing your wounds, you heal on all levels. So a better love life means all this other stuff gets better too, right? I don't know. It's like, it's freaking magic. I don't know how it works, but it does. And Laura's amazing. So I know Laura and Kathleen for belly dance. That's why they're both in these like amazing belly dance poses. But you don't have to be a belly dancer to work with me, but you can, and it'll be fun. Oh, so some frequently asked questions. Let's see, we'll go through these. So folks ask me like, what if I'm not in a relationship? I say, perfect, right? Iron out the kinks of your past stuff. Everybody's got stuff from the past, right? Even if you feel like generally you do really well, there's always going to be stuff that comes up for you that our partners will trigger. If you can clear some of that stuff up before you get into a relationship, you're going to attract a higher vibe, a higher level of partner who's ready to be with you at the level that you're at. In fact, there may be a soulmate out there that's waiting for you to get to the level so that you can learn the lessons that they have to teach you. What if I'm in an established relationship? Awesome. You can come and implement the things you're learning in the VIP day, and you and your sweethearts can implement them immediately and get a ton of healing. It's really nice to do the assessments on your current relationship to see where you can improve right away. So it's sort of like you already have, you'll learn like new skills you can apply immediately. What if it's not heteronormative? Awesome. One of the reasons I created this program is because traditional couples counseling doesn't work that well for non-heteronormative couples. So if you're a man and a woman and you're monogamous and you are straight, then great. Couples therapy was invented for you. If you are not that, then you need somebody who can talk about the different language of it. Because there's other issues in the relationship, but the 5 steps that I talked about are applicable to you, but you may need just some tweaking to make it completely applicable. I don't work in like man plus woman. I use like the psychological masculine feminine ideas rather, but it's not about gender. Anyway, I don't mean to confuse you, but if you are in a non-heteronormative relationship, yes, this is a great program for you. Oh, will I get direct help? Yes. It's a small group setting. I'm going to cap it at 12 because I want to make sure that there's everybody can get attention. And I think if there's more than 12, it's going to be unwieldy. So if there's enough to make 2 groups, I may do that. But definitely there'll be no more than 12 people, and I absolutely make sure. Plus you get the phone call in the beginning and the call in the end, and you can always add more time with me if that makes sense for you, if you need more help. What if I can't make the date for the live VIP? I'll make more. There'll be more dates. We're just doing this inaugural first one to kick it off, November 11th, which is a Sunday, I believe. So if you can't make that date, we'll make another one. There'll be another one in the future. What will I walk away with again? I'll review it again at the end. There's a nice list. Do you have a guarantee? Oh, do you have a payment plan? Yeah. So normally I wouldn't do a payment plan because it's hard for me to keep track of a payment plan. But since this is a pilot project, I really want to get I want to help as many people as possible, especially because my programs are high end. $1,000 for a day is a lot for some people. So we're doing $500. And if you can't make that payment today, can you make a partial payment and then agree to have it paid before the date, November 11th? Then that's no problem. I will do a payment plan for you. We'll figure out a way to do that. Other choices. So here's the thing about the payment plan is that in order to get, if you want to get the fast action bonus, you have to pay in full today. Because that's part of the gung-ho. I want you to pay and then focus on what you're going to get out of it and how you're going to grow rather than being rather than being stressed about how to pay for the program. Here are some other options that you could put it on a credit card. $500 isn't very much to put on a credit card, depending on what your situation is. It makes you the boss of your payments, so you can pay them back whenever you're capable, and you can take as long as you want. Whereas if you do a payment plan through me, then you have to have it paid before the VIP day. You could do PayPal credit. I was able to get financing through them. It's easy to apply their PayPal. It is based on your credit score, and they will run it, but they're pretty generous with it. And I found that it was really easy to work with, and I do take that. We're also a preferred partner at behalf.com, and I like them because they have great rates, and it's not based on your credit score. I don't know how they do it. I think they look at your bank and how much money you have, and then they say like, okay, we'll give you this much and you'll pay us this much. And if that's agreeable, you can do that. And then I would get the 500 and then you would pay behalf, right? That's a good way of doing it. And let me know if you want to do that. I think I might have like a payment portal or something special for that. So if that's something you want to do, let me know. So don't dilly-dally. There's no timer today because I couldn't figure it out today. But normally there's a timer for the fast action bonus. So I can see if you are registering and who does it. Let's just do it by the end of the day today. So by midnight today for the fast action bonus. Part of that is that doing the Aphrodite temple is really time consuming for me and requires a lot of energy, and I have to get ready, and so I want to limit the number of people, and it's a reward to like, if you're gonna do it and you're like, yes, it's like, hooray, you did it. And for those who know what they want and how to ask for help and are ready for it. So I'm limiting the VIP day to this time for 12 people. It's first come, first scheduled, right? So if you say, okay, I'll sign up for it later, you won't get the fast action bonus. That will be sad. And then if the first class fills up, you have to wait till the next one. So there's some incentive for you to do it right away. I do have a limited money back guarantee. So once you pay and register, you'll schedule a welcome call. Take about 15 minutes, and you and I'll just get on the phone, and we'll decide if this is a good fit for you. And at that time, if you decide that if we decide you're not a good fit for the program, or you realize that this isn't good for you or something, at that time I will refund all of your money. So you need to make a decision at that time. I do not do a refund after that. I can only do a refund at that point. So I want you to commit to it, and I want you, even if it's scary or a big commitment, like I want you to do it, because love is that important. I don't know how to, like, love is important, and I know you'll get incredible transformation by coming. So basically you can't lose. Either way, you'll leave the call with good clarity and you'll have a plan for your next steps, or and if it's not right for you, you'll get your money back, or you'll come to the VIP day and it will be amazing, and it's not for everyone. So I have a link to secure your spot, which I will have to get out for you here in a minute. Once I'm done here, I'll share the link with you. And watch for the welcome email that'll come to you. I'll give you the course to log into, and you can see all your Jumpstart homework, and that's where you'll book your welcome call with me, and then we can celebrate your excellent choice. Okay, I'm not doing that today. So, I mean, that's the presentation. I'm really looking forward to connecting with you. I'm going to be on for a little bit longer. I'm going to share that link with you. So if you know this is something you want to do, you can sign up. If you sign up by the end of the day today and pay in full, then you will get the fast action bonus. If you need a payment plan, let me know. We'll get something arranged for you. But I mean, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. How are we doing on time? So you even stayed like 6 minutes over to like hang out with me. And I'll be on a little bit just to connect with people and to answer some questions, because I haven't been able to see any of the questions here. So let me check in on that. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Okay. Checking the Facebook. I don't know what happened here on Facebook. I don't know if I'm streaming live still or not. This program is fun. Sure. Oh, no, I guess I'm not live on there anymore. Okay. Let me check the chat here on Zoom. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody that's still here with me have any questions? If you have one, you can, if you're on the camera, you can wave at me and I'll unmute you if you're not muted. 20-second delay from here to Facebook. Oh, are we still on Facebook? That's cool. Like, oh, I am. Okay, weird. Okay, like looking at myself. I can't do it. Okay, I gotta go back to Zoom. It shouldn't be paused. Okay, freaking me out. Okay. Let me get you the link to sign up for the program. I'll also put it on the Facebook group too. The video stopped. Okay, I don't know why it stopped. Like, who knows at this point? I'm just a technology. Like, I'm just glad I'm glad you got to see the presentation. Okay, there it is. So I'm putting it in the chat box, the link for the link to sign up. Let me see if I could put it in here. It'll be on Facebook now too. Okay. Dum-de-dum-dum-dum. I'm not seeing any questions. Does that mean there aren't any, or does that mean I'm not seeing them? Because it could totally be that too. There it is. Facebook. No questions. Thanks, Michaela. You didn't see any on the Facebook. Buzz. Okay. Well, perfect. Well, I'm going to go back out to my kiddo and say hi to my family. I will do this presentation again. So here's a secret. Okay, so if you, what am I thinking? If you are like, I really want to do the VIP day, I really want the bonus, but I don't have the money right this minute, but I will later. I'll probably do this presentation at least twice more. And if you come to it and you click on the link, then I'll make sure that you get the fast action bonus. So if that's something that is really important or motivating to you, I can make sure that happens as long as you pay in full. So if you need like a little time, I'll be doing this again a couple of times. So I really want to, if you're on the fence and that pushes you over, like, I want to help you say yes if you're already a yes. I want it to be a hell yes, like a whole body yes. So that's where I'm at there. Thank you so much for coming and for staying and for supporting me. I feel really cared for that you came and watched my presentation and listened to my pitch, and that I appreciate your kindness and your participation, and I will see you around the group. And absolutely, like, share this with folks, and I'll put a replay out, and it'll be good. Sound good? Thanks, you guys. I will stop the meeting now.